All right, so when we come to color scheme, um, it's helpful to know the more we know about colors and how they react. But the main gist of this is that we need to make sure that our pages are accessible, that we're following CRAP principles, so contrast, repetition, alignment, and proximity. Specifically, we're looking at contrast and repetition. Okay, we can help people understand our website when we are repetitive on the colors that we use and how we use them. If all of our titles have a certain color, then people who are visually looking at our website, they understand when I see that text in that color, that is a title, it's going to introduce a new topic. Okay, but we can also do it for contrast. So this, for us setting up colors, I have it where we have these 7 basic colors, and if we went to the resources, we could kind of check what that means. So in here, this is the site that I would check, so I would kind of play around with a couple of these. So I'm going to open up this one, choosing color scheme when you're not a designer. Let's do Peloton so we can look at colors. Let's look at WebAIM color contrast. Now there are some extensions. They may or may not work by the time you guys are using this. Colorzilla does allow you to be able to pick colors from websites and things that you like. Spectrum allows you to see what certain pages look like when we remove the red or the blue or the green, or we lower the contrast to see what it would look like if somebody was colorblind. And that is useful for you to kind of check things. So I do want to do the WebAIM though. Okay, so let's go to this color scheme. All right, so this idea is that you don't have to have like a great background and graphic design to be able to design some good colors. This whole website page is basically saying what you need is some dark colors, some light colors, a bold, a neutral, and a contrast color. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, and there's an infographic. The dark colors we're going to use for text. Okay, so we want them dark enough where we can write with them and they're still readable. We want 2 light colors. These can be used as backgrounds. A bold color to make something eye-catching. And ideally we want to kind of start with this color. This will be kind of our main color that we can use to add splashes of color. We can also have a neutral color to differentiate between these 2 backgrounds, but it will be backgrounds and or accents depending on how we need it. We don't want to have so much color that it's just looking like a unicorn barfed on the page. And then we do want to end up having a contrast color, and I'll kind of show how we can kind of pull some contrast colors. Okay, so let's start off. We could either use Peloton, or you guys could simply just type color picker in a Google search bar, and look, now we got something. We can pick our colors. Okay, Peloton's not really going to be much different. I can pick my colors here and play with it, so I can have it more white, any of that. Okay, and this is what I'm kind of looking at. There's my base color. That's what it's based off right here. Now if I copy this is called a hex code. If I went to the color picker and I pasted this in here, I'm seeing the color right here on the left that I would see on Peloton. Okay, that's what this color is the base color. Okay, now this will do other colors and give you kind of ideas. If we have a darker color over that, what it looks like, big or small. If we have a little bit of a lighter color, that's these colors right here, and this is just based off of one color. Okay, now if I wanted to start with my colors, let's say I want to start with what my first color is going to be. Okay, finding that, we can do it this way, or we're looking for our base. We could also do it with the color picker. So maybe I might want some type of blue, because I'm doing like that coffee house. I want kind of like an ocean blue, so I want like blue and gray. That's going to be kind of my contrast, but I don't want it too dark, so let's brighten it up some. I want it bit of green to it, so I'm going to move this over. Okay, so let's say that's my color. All right, so I can come here, I can copy this by clicking here or highlighting and copying. Let's go ahead and copy. We come back to the resources here, and I can say, all right, my contrast color, or excuse me, my bold color, there's my hex value for it. And then I can even right click on this cell, and I can go to table properties. I can actually pick this cell color if I wanted to see what it looks like. Click on custom, and then where this hex code is, I can paste that link also there, and that gives me the specific color. And now I can see what that color is. If I want to copy the RGB, you need at least the hex code. But you could copy the RGB too if we wanted. If we were using the color picker here, we could do that as well, and we can paste it. Okay, so we're picking our colors. If you're using Peloton, you are not going to be able to, at least I have not found a good way of being able to play with this to get anything other than just the hex ones, okay? But we can play around with, if you're using Peloton to get your colors, we can, do a number of colors here. We can do 4 colors. We could choose where we want them and put them all over the place. Okay. So you can play with these. Hold shift to move colors individually. So we can do that to get those individual colors. And then you could export that and see what that looks like. Peloton does also give us kind of an idea of what those colors would look like in here. So we can say what that looks like if we are losing some colors. So we can see what these individual ones would look like. You can see that the colors are dropped out. We're losing some colors, okay? What we see over here. Now I could also, check what it looks like if we're, say, in grayscale, because that's going to give us an idea. The greatest idea if you can be able to see the colors. So let's say that you end up picking out all your colors, okay? So here are all of your colors. Let me go to this one. So I went through and I started with bold, and then I started picking out my colors, just like what I said. Now you wanted to double check if the contrast was good enough. So here I can copy. Now my dark color, I already know from the reading that dark color is going to be my text. Okay, so that's when I can go to this WebAIM contrast checker, and I could paste that color here as my foreground color. Now I can also go and paste, let's check the light colors and make sure. See if the contrast is good enough. Now this will help you have a contrast. Here we're looking for higher numbers. Okay, you want to ideally have everything passed. What this means is that your text size, whether it's normal or bolded, still looks good in front of your foreground text color. That bluish color that we have still looks good in front of our other background. If we have large text, we want that to pass. We want this to be readable in all situations. We would like to have this all pass. Okay, that is so that if we were, having someone who's dealing with color blindness, they would still be able to see our pages contrast-wise. Okay, we could also check that against this background color and see what that looks like. So we could switch out our background but still use that same color for our text. 852, it's lower, but generally if we're over about 7, we're doing pretty good. Now if your number was too low, and let's say my background color was a lot darker, so I kind of dark on dark, I didn't have very good contrast, and everything is failing. I can't really see the text. Doesn't matter if it's bold or not, so I need to make some changes. Okay. Now, if you just needed to tweak after you're bringing it into this contrast checker, you could adjust the lightness on, either your foreground or your background. In this case, I'm just going to start dragging till I see that contrast going up to something that makes it easier for me to read. Now, I have it passing where if it's just large text, I'm going to keep going. I want my contrast up to, closer to about 7. Okay, or at least until all of these are showing that they're passing. There we go. So if I wanted to change my color to this, I could go ahead and copy this and then paste this, back here, and that's the new contrast color that I want to play with. Okay, that is basically how we would play around with doing colors, getting our individual colors. Do you have to use 7 colors? No. You guys could use different set of colors, but what you are going to end up doing is that each one of your pages, you're going to have, total of 4 pages. Each one of those pages should have the same color scheme as all your other pages so that they are paired up well. All right? Good luck. Have fun.